God bless you, Mike. Good to hear from you again tonight. I hope you're safe wherever you are. I mean, down here in Florida, we have been having some really bad weather, hailstones, tornadoes, you name it.
Yeah, I got some bad news for regarding the weather coming up shortly. I mean, we can begin with that, but we don't have to. It's a doozy.
Well, we better. I mean, you just.
Well, we had a conversation on your show.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
About the heating of the oceans.
Yes.
Well, wouldn't you know it? Just about 3, 4, 5 hours ago, they have a headline: Earth is in hot water. Worries over sudden ocean warming spike.
Whoa. Okay, now, is this the beginning of disclosure of what's happening here under the Earth?
I don't think they can actually disclose that. I don't believe that's an option. I really don't. It's worse than what it seems to be.
So what are they saying then, Mike? That the temperature of the oceans are heating up?
Well, it's a sudden spike, and they said this month coming up, well, actually April and May are shattering records. So we have severe changes. And the ocean temperatures are going to drive two elements: the wind and storms. And of course, as we have more storms, hail, the size of hail is going to increase.
Yeah.
We're talking about a big increase. We're not talking about, 10 mile an hour wind speeds. We're talking about a pretty significant increase in winds. Our infrastructure can't take too much moisture either. They had a survey that was done. Most of the infrastructure in most of the parts of the USA are at stress points of breaking, meaning the water is taking its toll, right? So the more water we get, the more destabilized the surface of the crust gets. That means the footers of houses and buildings are going to start to give way. They already have entire buildings within cities that the basements and underneath the basements, they have already given way. So there's a lot happening. When the heat comes with that rain, it's going to double the trouble.
I'm looking right here at a report, as you just said. Rising ocean temperatures are driving unprecedented changes in global marine ecosystems, sea levels, and weather patterns. As the heat transforms the ocean, threats to food supplies, economies, weather multiplying, putting humans and the environment health at risk. So
yeah, that's one. That's one. If people would look up this keyword "Earth in hot water," they'll find that article. It just came out just a little bit ago, but what they're discussing is this: scientists are kind of stumped at some of the rises. Well, they say this publicly; they know exactly what it is, and the numbers are a bit degraded, of course, for public consumption. But the oceans are driving a huge problem. A huge problem.
All right, I found your article here. Earth in hot water, worries over sudden ocean warming spike. The world's oceans have suddenly spiked much hotter and are well above record levels in the last few weeks. The scientists trying to figure out what it means and whether the forecast a surge in atmospheric warming. Some researchers think the jump in the sea surface temperatures stems from the brewing and possibly strong natural El Nino warming weather conditions, plus a rebound from 3 years of cooling La Nina. But that's not what it is it, Mike?
No, they have, of course, they're going to print what they print to support global warming, to gather money.
Right.
It's going to be political. And NOAA, of course, is going to print anything that will keep that agency validity going. But the truth is, we have an unprecedented amount of volcanoes erupting in the oceans.
Yep.
We have underwater war activity, I guess you could say, which is not helping the matter. We have a condensed atmospheric issue that we continue to have. The sun is about to go into a new phase, a brand new phase. It's going to be highly unpredictable. And of course, all these external things out there, beyond our solar system, they're putting they're introducing a lot of particulates. into our solar system. So
Did
things
they-
are changing rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, and let's talk about this binary system, okay? Planet X, and I promised people we would ask you about an update on that. I did see the solar eclipse we just had. That they were hoping that when that solar eclipse happened, that they would be able to see this binary system coming up the backside and maybe see it over on the edges of the sun with the naked eye, but they couldn't see with the naked eye. But I was going to ask you, did we look at it with the infrared? Did we get a look at this thing, and what did we see?
Well, if something was out there, they can always see it. The problem with the eclipse is that we're at the wrong angle, so we wouldn't have got a clear look at it based on the position of Earth and the sun. That's how we would see it with an eclipse. Of course, it would block all that light out and show a pretty lit object behind there. But we're at the wrong angle. Give it about 3 or 4 months. If that happens again, which it likely will, then people may get a good visual of that. Plus, the time of day is a big factor. But if they don't get to see it, that's not a problem, because we're about to have some new phases introduced into our weather patterns, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have to deal with the high winds. With the high winds comes a dryness, comes very different types of storms, and some of the particulates that are now settling in the atmosphere are going to hit their fall point, which means once they build up to a specific point, they begin to fall to Earth. And once they fall to Earth, that's going to be a bigger driver. As the density of the upper atmospheres increases, aircraft are going to be forced to lower and lower altitudes. They already have St. Elmo's fire, right, that they have to go through due to friction and other things. If that increases, they're going to, lots of things will change. Here's the bad part. It's going to happen so quick. And we're going to have very little indication that things are about to overtake us. It's going to happen very quick. Any binary system, the closer they get together, right, they arc. Inertia increases. Speed doubles. So it's almost an exponential speed increase from that binary star coming into our star. Now, our star moves also, right? So at a certain point, both start moving towards each other. Right. At that point, things will be moving so fast in space that the constellations are going to be wrong. People are going to lose track of night. I wouldn't be surprised if we go through more than one. We'll probably have a trio of wobbles, meaning you may see the sun in the sky likely at 10 o'clock one day, at the 10 o'clock position. But within about a 30-minute period, the sun may go all the way to a 2 o'clock position and back to that 10 o'clock position. All of this happening within a half hour.
What? Wait,
so I wouldn't be surprised.
Are you serious?
And you're looking at not just one time, but multiple times. We're going to see the sun out of position. Also in the nighttime, we will likely see at the nighttime the Earth doing more wobbles, right, to where we see the moon. And then, of course, everybody sees the sun. It'll light up like it's daytime. Then quickly go back to the moon. Now, the only thing that's going to hold us together is the sheer force of the gravitational element, I'm going to call it. And so we're in a pretty good sphere, Earth is, that will hold us to the ground. But we will see the heavens start to alter like that. But we will have no warning. Once this really hits that peak point, it'll go from a day just like today to horrific, to horrible, right? And as far as a warning is concerned, well, everybody's looking for warning and trying to find these big indicators. They're not going to get the big indicators. They just won't get them. It's going to happen too quick. It'll always, in every single observed system, it's always shocking to see when two of these stars get together, because the speed is just incredible. That means if even an amateur astronomer saw it in a telescope, it was a small little tiny, purplish red dot, right? Within hours, it would overtake everything. Once you see it, it's too late.
That's a great scripture.
Nobody can prepare that fast.
That's a great scripture somebody just reminded us of, and I appreciate that in the chat room. Haggai chapter 2, verse 6 and 7 says, "And thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once in a little while, and I will shake the heavens, and the earth, and the sea, and the dry land. And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come. And I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. The silver is mine, the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts. And the glory of this latter house shall be greater than the former, and saith the Lord of hosts, and in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts." He's saying, I will shake the heavens. Now, also in the same chapter in verse 21, again he says, I will shake the heavens and the earth. So
Right.
when you said that the sun will literally go back, basically, are we saying the sun is moving out of place, or is the earth moving out of place? Okay.
The earth will be.
Yeah.
The earth is going to be dislodged. It is a known fact that the earth is going to lose its orbit.
Wow.
It's going to be temporarily jostled quite a bit, but more than once, because every single time, when these things get close, the forces they're just unbelievable. And nobody living alive right now, not even in distant history, can we read about that unless we really, really dig. And then you find small indicators, and I can almost guarantee they didn't get everything, right? And even the Bible confirms a very shocking thing of just how little of a warning people will get. But we're watching everything very closely. As far as some big, obvious sign, I honestly believe God is giving them every single day. It's just not for the world to notice.
Well, they
That's
can't. They're blinded. And until you come to Christ, you really can't see. But like you said, the Christians, we keep our eyes open. We're not the children of the night, but we're the children of the light. And you know, our eyes are open and we see things. And so we pick up on it, and God's showing us. And we're moving. This thing is not slowing down. So appreciate it, Mike. What are we going to be talking about next week, Mike?
Well, we could be talking about some very big-sized hail.
Again? Even worse than what we've had?
Much worse.
All right. I'll be ready.
Much worse.
Oh, Lord.